Yes, thank you. So in the next probably 10 to 15 minutes, I want to wrap up, and let's get back a bit back to the ground. We had a very high altitude flight in our discussion. It was a very philosophic one, which is very good to get these ideas so everybody can think a bit more about these topics afterwards, and especially using our holiday party and networking and discussing all those important topics. But now let's get back to the ground of our business, of our industry today, and see what happens today, what happened in the past, what happens today, and where we will end up in 5 years from now. What I want to share with you at the beginning is the lessons learned, DE-CIX at least, collected over 22 years of interconnection business. We started with our business in 1995 in Frankfurt. And I'll give you two different examples of success, what can be explained as a successful creating successful interconnection ecosystems. And then the next step, I'll give you at least, share with you at least our lessons learned about the crucial success factors which are needed to create those healthy ecosystems. Let's take the example of Frankfurt first. Created, as already mentioned, 1995. Today, almost 22 years later, Frankfurt is the largest peering ecosystems in the world. By traffic, almost 6 tera. We do have over 800 different ASNs connected to the platform, even 900 almost, from 70 different nations, which is huge. The variety of this ecosystem is amazing. So this is one success example, success story. A second success story is so young that I cannot believe it, even cannot believe it. We started operations in Madrid in 2016. This is just 1.5 years ago. As of today, Madrid has connected more than 100 different ASNs, a nice variety of international content operators, of domestic eyeball networks, and of course CDNs, and even some already enterprises are requested the connection to the platform in Madrid. The traffic is growing steadily. That makes Madrid the fastest growing internet exchange in the world. And having said that, I want to share with you even more. So you see what we did over the past 22 years. So we have created different presences across the globe, 12 locations, 20 different markets in 8 countries on 4 continents, from Dallas to Mumbai, which was the last market DE-CIX entered to. So having said this, all those markets are highly requested by the community, by network operators, but even more by businesses, as we see these changes already in some markets more than in others, of course. We do not expect to see a lot of businesses this and next year in Mumbai, but this is definitely the case for New York and Frankfurt, as well-developed, mature markets where we see already requests by corporates. But let's think together, what are the foundations of this success? So why those ecosystems have been created in this great manner? So what are the key success factors to be able to create a healthy interconnection ecosystem? We talked about neutrality. We had even this question on the panel. And neutrality means here a very open approach. Being carrier neutral, being data center neutral, means being able to deliver a service and create an ecosystem across a market involving all relevant players on this market. Data center players, fiber operators, and inviting all networks to get a seamless connection to the platform. Neutrality is a key driver. A second key driver is the distribution. The more participants and the more stakeholders can participate in an ecosystem based on the neutrality, the higher the potential for growth is. And the example of Frankfurt proves this. The example of New York proves this. In Frankfurt, DE-CIX offers access in 18 different data centers. In New York, we have 11 facilities with 100+ access points. And this is the reason, and Ed mentioned this earlier, why we grew like hell in New York in terms of ASNs for the last 3.5 years, even more than other guys who do operate exchanges or have been operating for so many longer. we believe that distribution and involving all relevant parties in a market into the interconnection ecosystem is also key. But what is essential is the right market, right time. It's valid for all type of businesses, but now I'll try to focus more on our interconnection business, of course. And let's look at that. What does it mean to be the right market? I will try afterwards to prove this with the example of one of the greatest cities in the world, New York City. So I'll give you now a general criteria we believe are important for the creation of right selection of right markets and developing markets as digital hubs. So what do we call digital hub? We have three main criteria there. We do have a recognized scope of operation as a global market or a global city. We do have direct connectivity to at least 2 more continents. And we have interconnection, diversity, and density. And if I jump even deeper into our business based on what I said, we need transport, logistics, we need digital infrastructure, fundamentals in this market, and of course, finance and biz. Let's look at the market of New York and see why, if New York, and if yes, how covers these markets. We have been awarded as well. That's great marketing slide. I will not jump into that. Let's have a look at the example of New York. And I talked about the variety of data centers New York has. I talked about the variety of different fiber operators who are present in the city, and the majority in this room is aware of this. But let's look into one very important and key element, which is the business diversity, because we understood that businesses and the business diversity will drive the growth of interconnection ecosystems tomorrow, even more than it does today. Therefore, let's look at New York. What are the key facts about New York and the market of New York as an ecosystem with business diversity? We do have the finance aspect. It's the largest stock exchange in the world, trade. We do have, it's ranked, New York has been ranked as number 2 in trading ranking, and it's a city with great economics. We do have the second city largest GDP, and in terms of logistics and transport, we do have all key elements. Airport, we do have 80% of the US imports through the New Jersey and New York ports, and we do have further logistic concentration of logistics services. We do have education with almost 109 international students. Media is a kind of a creative capital of the world, and of course business. Just one factor, office space concentrated. What do you think? What's the number of office space in the Metro of New York? It's 45 million square meters, which is multiplied by 10 for square foot. It's amazing. And it's a very vibrant interconnection market. So you see all those key elements are in the place here. We see this based on factors. Within 3 years, the growth I already discussed about. This is New York City, the fastest growing internet exchange makes New York City the fastest growing internet exchange in the market. And this will keep New York on the global map as the hub that never sleeps, and not the city only. And what will happen tomorrow with those hubs? By the way, this is valid for all other markets. I just wanted to prove the key lessons learned, which are general key lessons learned on the example of New York. This is valid for Frankfurt, this is valid for Madrid, for all the successful markets, disregarding if operated by DE-CIX or not. We have examples of Singapore, we have examples of LA, we have examples of Hong Kong. All those markets, they cover those crucial success factors as general criteria. What will happen tomorrow? Tomorrow, those markets will grow like hell further. Why? Just look at a simple reason is because the ecosystem is a natural biotope for growth of further interconnection businesses. And look, the physical layer, strategic location is key. New York has the strategic locations even in milliseconds. Look what happens there. And these milliseconds will be reduced by technology. This will get even better. The city is already a gateway from Europe to the United States. But we have more. There is Canada, and there are the milliseconds to Europe, as already mentioned, but also South America. In South America, this is what we see. The South American networks look at New York already as their gateway to the United States directly, as the hub at the East Coast. And there might be guys in the room who would think about why this guy on the stage doesn't talk about Ashburn, Virginia. Yes, I do have an answer on this, because the logic of interconnection does not follow the logic of computing. This is my personal opinion. It follows the logic of connectivity. If you look at the connectivity, you understand that New York will stay the hub that never sleeps. You cannot use this phrase for Virginia, Ashburn, Virginia. So, in a nutshell, this is where we stay today. So what will happen tomorrow, and will happen based on already existing changes in the market? We discussed about this today. Let's see the business verticals. Business verticals are very popular today as the next big step for data centers. Every single data center operator wants to get all those enterprises into the data centers. And this is true because they have different needs. Automotive, entertainment, consumers and consumer-related business, even our way how we work will work tomorrow, and the different applications around that, the infrastructure needed for that will change, and changes already. So this leads to the result that the whole value chain started to change in terms of interconnection needs. Just 3 examples. A mobile operator who is Orange in France becomes a bank. They started an online bank. Apple Pay. Samsung Pay. So they're jumping into completely new area. They will replace current strong credit card companies. And this is a very, very strong business. Apple Pay requires interconnection. This changes also the way how others will look into the interconnection ecosystems. They started with music and great computers in the 80s. Music became the smartphone. Now they're jumping into the credit card and payment business. You see the change. There is a dramatic change on the market. Automotive. I listened to a presentation of the CEO of Audi a couple of months ago in Barcelona. I listened not directly, unfortunately, was online. So he introduced the new A8 edition. And he didn't speak about the car. He said, we do sell digital products and services. I said, what? He presents A8 and talks about digital products and services and named Audi the digital car company. At least car was mentioned. But they talk about artificial intelligence, tons of data, different packages and services which they want to sell. So the car becomes kind of a platform only for new businesses. And this will change dramatically the way we will have to develop our interconnection business as well. Technology will drive this, and technology has to be created to support this change. We already started to think about this. But ladies and gentlemen, nothing will be possible disregarding what type of nice application we will see in the future, or what type of higher level technology we'll use if we do not have robust physical infrastructure. Those are the guys providing reliable data center services. Those are the guys providing reliable connectivity services and digging the streets and the country and creating nice physical layer of infrastructure. And we as Internet Exchange or Interconnection Fabric operator, we are part of this layer of robust and resilient digital infrastructure. But this is not enough. It cannot be enough because we have to extend the way we think about interconnection in the future. And we started thinking about couple of years ago, and we're extremely proud to announce this in Madrid, in Frankfurt, now in New York. We did it on all different summits across the world. DE-CIX organized this year, and this is the last one. And with the holiday party afterwards, a nice final event of the year. So we are happy to announce the DE-CIX transformation from the peering fabric only to the interconnection fabric and interconnection multi-service platform. Why multi-service? We saw there are so many changes happening on the industry. There will be new participants. They will require new services. We decided to look in our ecosystem and use the same ecosystem which is already there, disregarding if it's Frankfurt, New York, Madrid, as a natural place to offer new extended interconnection services. And this is the key now, using the same infrastructure investments for the customer. So it makes it much more efficient and makes it effective. And it makes future related. We call it the DE-CIX New Service World. It's a multi-talented platform offering cutting-edge interconnection services because of the simplicity and the variety of services possible. These are just examples of what is possible on all DE-CIX platforms today in a way who are based on this technology. And this is the majority, New York, Frankfurt, Madrid, all those bigger platforms, they are part of this new world. The idea is to use the infrastructure and the ecosystem which is already in place and give the customer the chance to define different types of interconnection services which will be used on the same platform. Like cloud exchange, you can have a virtual one-to-one links. You can create, for instance, closed user groups. Let's imagine companies who are involved in the finance business. They might decide to agree on their own security and quality of standard policies, so they can use the same platform, not for peering. They can use it, for instance, for closed user group exchanging finance-related data and traffic. This is everything possible on the same platform with a lot of services, even we are not aware of those today, with different, more participants, with more flexibility and more opportunities. This is our one access to multiple interconnections. It's a matter of how the participants want to use it. Even in the future, some of them will be able to make money on it and will become the port, or the access we call it today, will be transferred from a physical piece of physical infrastructure into a revenue fundament for a revenue stream, because it's about the ecosystem we just moderated. This is a kind of a key finding for today. I didn't use, this is not my brain. I need a significantly larger picture. Therefore, I used a third-party picture. And we asked ourselves, what will be the future tomorrow about those ecosystems? And we believe that by growth, they are neutral, but they will become neural. Neural ecosystems means ecosystems who are self-developing, self-learning, and they create a self-dynamic supporting the business based on a triangular success: data, technology, and last but not least, of course, business and people. This is what's all about. The business and the people. All attendees today are involved somehow in this business and why we are doing this job. Disregarding it's a data center, it's a network operator, is it a cable guy or an internet exchange operator? We do this job to provide better internet and better digital connectivity everywhere and for everybody. And this is what we should focus on. And if you do care about this, then you spent the afternoon in the right place today. Thank you so much.